to see if he likes any of these books that I picked for him to read. First up, Batman Robin Lives, the retelling of the death of Jason Todd if he had lived.
Spoiler alert, Robin lives.
So what if?
It threw me off because I hadn't read 428 in, like I said, like about 30 plus years. So I was just trying to remember while reading through this, like, well, what did they change? What did they change? What did they change? But I mean, they did a nice job with it, going through and reading it, and it feels like you're reading an old comic from the late 90s, or sorry, late 80s, early 90s, ads and all. Everything's in there. So I don't know the backstory to this. Is this a what if, or was this what they actually wrote as a secondary story that never was published?
I believe it was a secondary story that they had ready to go if the
because that's what it
came
felt
in
like.
for them to live. Yeah,
I mean that's 100% what it felt like. Yeah, I mean it was late 90s Batman was what it was. Batman 1 second is like, why? How could I be so whatever? And then he's an asshole the next minute. That's Batman.
that's Batman.
That's Batman in a nutshell.
Now he's a complete asshole. 24 hours.
But yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but he buries Jason Todd's mom, and Jason Todd survives, and they kind of leave it on a cliffhanger. And you have a nice panel of the Ayatollah right in the middle there, so that's fun.
Ayatollah. I forgot he was in his book.
And you get the dumb looking Joker with the stupid long face, which always kind of bothered me a bit.
They prepared 2 books where he lives and dies, and then after the vote, they use one of them.
Yeah, I knew they had the vote and everything. I just didn't know whether they had prepared both or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun read. It took me back. I have to go dig up 428 now and read that and do a little comparison because I felt a little dumb reading it. I was like, this feels really familiar, but it was over 30 years ago when I read it. It's like a high school assignment. I was like, I don't remember what I did then. So, yeah. It's worth it. I think it's fun, worth picking up. I mean, if you're going to go in terms of what ifs, it's an interesting way to go with it.
Yeah. And they have 2 variant covers, a partial blank cover, and they have a foil cover.
I would buy neither of those. I don't know. I read it online. Like I said, it was fun to read. It kind of brought me back to, I mean, like I said, that series was so huge when we were kids.
Voltaire, you can read it on, I sent the link I sent you before. If you want.
Yeah, like I said, I got to dig up 428 now because now I really have to go back and read because I'm looking at things. I'm like, did this happen in the original? Did this happen in the original? Outside of him living, where were the tweaks? I'm just too old. My brain doesn't work well anymore to remember things that that far away. So it wasn't. Like I said, I would definitely recommend picking it up, especially if you grew up in this era of comics.
Yep.
I would say definitely pick it up because it's it hits the the nostalgia.
A Death in the Family was a great story, regardless of the ending.
Yeah,
I love
such an amazing story.
The reason why he died because they had to freaking the box.
The box.
Say die.
Redial.
That was redial. That was cool.
Hey, what's up, Chris? The Bipolar Jedi. If you're not subscribed to Chris, please go and subscribe to Chris's channel. And you can follow him on X, Nobody Bipolar, I believe. Next up, the next book he was tasked to read. Stuff of Nightmares. I forgot to change the title. Sleigh Ride.
yeah, Sleigh Ride was, I mean, all of these kind of little kind of Tales from the Crypt style stories
Mhm.
where you have you kind of have your narrator setting things up a little bit here and there and adding context. It was an okay read if you like a little horror read. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't awful. Uh, you basically have a Santa Claus who's a department store Santa who gets fired from his job and kind of loses his shit. So that's basically the long with the short. And then this is a self-contained story. Wraps itself up at the end quite well. I won't give anything away if anyone wants to read it. But like I said, they're good if you like reading quick little horror stories in the vein of, kind of a Tales from the Crypt type story. It's worth reading. It's fun. I don't know if I'd buy it outside of the Prison cover, but
yeah, the prison cover. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun little story to read.
Go ahead, Ben.
Was it a forgettable story? Yeah,
As much as I used to.
but it was the best of the three reads that I had, I would say.
Nice. Later, Kata. Thank you. Chris wants to know, how much do you bench?
Not as much as I used to. I used to bench a lot more. Just got to get back into the swing of things. I'm benching about maybe 215 now. I'm not benching as much as I used to.
Nice.
215, 185. I'm back to the beginning stages of my life.
I was hoping you weren't going to give a number and just say more than I used to.
350. Yeah, 350. As he's rubbing his muscles. 350.
I'm not that. Come on. I don't have that much more muscles like I
Wait,
used to.
Put that out. Do that again.
Right.
Next up, the bane of Joe's existence. I didn't change the titles on a lot of these. Spider-Gwen Smash #1.
I wish it was Titans Beast World instead.
That was a lot better.
Oh, no wonder you said Smash. I was like,
I
didn't know you was talking about Smash. The name of the comic was Smash. I thought it was like, yeah, you smash it.
I admit I half-ass read this because I clocked out about halfway through. Like I said, if you're, a 14-year-old girl, this is a fantastic, fun read.
Oh, so
I'm not a 14-year-old girl, so it just didn't do it for me. It was very Gwen focused. Not like in the Spider-Verse, I find Gwen fun. There's a larger story arc though.
Yeah.
In Spider-Verse, this was just kind of like, oh, my band's playing. Oh, I'm gonna stop a bad guy. Oh, now we're gonna be with another band, and it's Dazzlers in that band. Yeah, it was
not enough boobies, Joe.
Amen. But no, it was
not for
like
you.
I said, it's not. Yeah, I'm sure there's people that would read that kind of stuff and enjoy it. It's not for me.
Red has about 10 copies of each cover. I'm pretty sure he does. No, he's too busy.
Maybe you could stretch it. Maybe a 15-year-old girl will enjoy it, but it really felt more that age focus in terms of the story and the way they were writing and everything else, which confuses me because they'll do a bunch of covers like this, which get dumb old men like us to go buy a bunch of covers.
Not me.
And there's a teeny bopper story in the middle. It's
not this guy.
I didn't buy any. I know Pete will buy that Nakayama cover because Pete likes Nakayama.
I don't, but I love the Elizabeth Tour cover.
I do too. I like the covers. I like Gwen as a character. The storyline for this just wasn't for my demographic, and that's okay.
That's fine. Please hit that like button. Get the likes up for the stream. And next up,